כוון עלינו עם RPG, ראש חלון, איפה? כן, אש! יואו!
אתה גיבון! רימון! תן לו!
נכנסנו לכאן עם רחפן בצילום פנים, ואנחנו ישר מזהים בכניסה.
Tension is palpable. Black smoke billows over the Nur Shams camp, while gunshots, rocket sirens, booming fighter jets announce the launch of IDF's biggest raid on the occupied territory of West Bank since Second Intifada in 2000. It's a sunny, humid morning. An Israeli combat unit is on guard, fighting for its life behind enemy lines as rebellion brews in the narrow streets. Every which way the soldier sees, there is possible death. Machine gun turrets, booby traps, snipers, or tunnel openings. The IDF unit is on edge, much like the whole nation. They turn a corner. One of them immediately gets the eerie feeling of being watched. Before they can warn their comrades, all hell breaks loose. As Israel fights Hamas's sacred battle amid a growing threat of Iran's Eastern Front in West Bank, the Intifada fear has crept up. And Israel is probably praying to not see a repeat of Jabaliya and Aqsa. In 1987, it was Jabaliya. In 2000, it was Aqsa. And in 2024, it could well be the West Bank. One word is enough to send shivers down every Israeli's spine. The world is watching as another uprising boils across the Gaza Strip. In 3 days since August 28th, Israeli forces have killed at least 17 Palestinians in West Bank. Israeli defense forces sent in armored columns, backed by boots on the ground. The so-called anti-terror operations in refugee camps in Jenin, Tulkarem and Tubas have seen pitched gun battles between Hamas militants and Israeli troops. It's a Hydra that Israel is fighting in Gaza. They cut off one head, 2 more rise to take its place. The bloody raids across refugee camps against alleged terror camps have brought back the word Intifada to the front line. On a cold December day in 1987, an Israeli vehicle in Gaza crashes. 4 Palestinians are killed. In response, rioting breaks out in Jabaliya refugee camp. Israelis reportedly lynched. The IDF's vengeance was swift and bloody. The violence that erupted lasted for around 7 years, though. Over 100 Israeli losses versus 1,000 Palestinians. On September 13, 1993, the Israeli government and the Palestinian Liberation Organization officially signed the Oslo Accords. The First Intifada had officially ended, but militant groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad were not happy at all. Their grouse, the Oslo Accords, prevented Palestine from ever taking back territories Israel seized in 1948. The First Intifada was seen as the moment Palestinians graduated from sticks, stones and Molotovs to rifles, grenades and bombs. 7 years and 15 days later, Ariel Sharon, a then Israeli opposition leader, reportedly set off a series of events that would draw the world's attention. Sharon is accused of deploying 1,000 heavily armed police and soldiers to storm the holy Al-Aqsa mosque compound in Israeli-occupied East Jerusalem. The outrage that followed marked the beginning of the Second Intifada, far more bloodier than the first. Over 4,300 lives were lost, with Palestine losing 3 times as many as Israel. Once again, bloodshed continued for years. In 2001, Ariel Sharon was elected the Prime Minister of Israel. A year later, after a suicide bombing killed 30, Israel launched the Operation Defensive Shield. West Bank and parts of Gaza were reoccupied. To suppress the violence, the Israeli government allegedly carried out over 200 assassinations of Palestinian military and political leaders. By 2005, the violence had subsided, and Israeli settlers were occupying parts of the West Bank. Israel had already set up a blockade around Palestine to prevent another such uprising. Israel had just cut off another of the Hydra. The Second Intifada saw the Palestinian Authority losing popular support. Hamas, a fringe organization for years, won the legislative elections in 2006. By the next year, the militant group had seized power by force in Gaza. Fast forward, 2023, the Gaza war began on October 23rd and made its way to West Bank. In June 2024, alleged unlawful killings by Israeli forces sparked fresh tensions that quickly snowballed into fierce combat. Israeli forces had reportedly entered Kafr near Jenin, where they besieged a home before shelling it. The Jenin battalion of the Al-Quds brigades, the armed wing of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, immediately engaged in fierce fighting. According to Palestinian health authorities, Israel has killed 544 Palestinians, including 133 children in the West Bank since October 2023. Palestinians in the West Bank have reportedly faced violent attacks from Israeli settlers who have assaulted farmers and raided towns in the past months, often under the protection of the Israeli military. And thus, the stage was set for another intifada, or rebellion, from Palestinians, even as Israel claims Israelis are repeatedly attacked and killed. Can the madness be quelled, or has a third bloody intifada been birthed? Will the cycle of violence continue and 2 more heads rise again? After more than a year of bloodshed in the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza, a third intifada will likely only be bloodier.